Now, I've spoken on the Tommy Robinson situation a few times on this channel, feeling some sort of duty to try and at least signal boost his story. Given I'm in the Midwest in Wisconsin, I can't exactly do much in the UK, but this story straddles a lot of important issues, and the political climate surrounding it is very similar to that which we face in the United States today. It's about spin. It's about free speech. It's about truth. It's about people who aren't perfect on both sides trying to do what they think is best. Now, there was a Free Tommy Robinson rally this weekend. There was also a counter rally. Now, I talked to some people that were there at the Tommy Robinson rally, and the numbers of people that were there range between 5,000 and 10,000, depending on who you talk to. I saw some video footage. I looked at some video footage of the crowd, and it seems pretty sizable. When I first reported on his jailing for violation of UK laws surrounding reporting on trials, specifically in this case it was grooming gangs, which he often reported on. He also broke some terms of his parole or probation. So while the issue of reporting on crimes fairly is big, there is an underlying issue that Tommy, for whatever reason, wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. And now he's facing a 13-month sentence for simply wanting to report on crimes, on issues that were and are close to his heart. And given the criminal justice system, the prison system, and how dangerous it is for just about anyone, where he's staying is putting his life at risk. So people have, understandably, taken to the streets in his defense, as I think it's reasonable to expect some fair reporting. I don't like this law around not being able to report on trials. It's not that way in the United States. Now, there are some advantages to it, I think, in terms of the court of public opinion. But I think the disadvantage of not being informed is far, far more damaging, especially when, if you can't report on convictions or trials going on, you are completely unaware, or I'm sorry, non-convictions, you're completely unaware of what might be going on in your backyard. Now, the interesting thing is, what I like to look at on this channel is the spin. From what I saw, outside of a few issues, and issues which I condemn, even though I strongly support Tommy Robinson, I do not support any violence towards anybody when you're going to get together and protest. It seems like when you're on the side of free speech, when you're on the side of liberty and protecting your property and persons, you are held to a higher standard. Crazy leftists can kick over trash cans and light limos on fire and break windows, and nobody seems to care. One scuffle happens when you're on, when you oppose the far left, and it's spun a million ways from Sunday, painting everyone and their mother as alt-right. They paint guys like Paul Joseph Watson and Sargon of Akkad and Count Dankula all as alt-right. People that, at least two of the three, I know very well and clearly are not alt-right. And look, if you are alt-right, I don't care. You're entitled to believe what you want to believe. I only care when things get violent. As long as democracy is served, then this is the lot that we have. People are entitled to believe whatever they want to believe, in my opinion. I don't have to agree with everything they say. But now we have the crazy spin going on with the Tommy Robinson case. Now we have an article in The Guardian. We have another article in The Guardian. We have Mirror. They're painting this bus driver as some sort of super woke hero because she was driving her bus through a giant crowd of people. What I see in this picture is some unruly people who are getting a little annoyed at somebody probably just trying to do their job, okay? But what the media sees is alt-right rabble-rousers attack Muslim woman, and she's so powerful and woke. A female Muslim bus driver, right? Like, doesn't matter that she's female, doesn't matter that she was Muslim. It only matters that she was a bus driver, which we can tell from the picture. But of course it says 2 Tommy Robinson supporters who surrounded her bus and shouted abuse at her. We don't know what she was saying. Perhaps they were annoyed that she was driving through where they were assembling. I don't know. I wasn't there. But it's interesting to see the abuse, right? What I see this guy saying is like, "Hey, come on, we're trying to, hang out here," or whatever. But they paint it as shocking image of shirtless man making rude hand gestures towards the driver. What is this? This looks like peace, or like, give me 2 minutes. I don't know what that means. Does that mean something different in the UK? Maybe I'm genuinely ignorant to it. The image was uploaded to Twitter with a caption, "Here's Tommy Robinson and Trump supporters harassing, intimidating, and abusing a Muslim female bus driver." Now, who writes this, right? I write this, I would be like, look at these crazies yelling at a bus driver. I don't feel the need to say it's Muslim. How do you know she's Muslim? Just because she's wearing her scarf? I mean, I don't know. I guess that's probably a fair assumption to make. But you don't know anything else. And it doesn't matter that she's female and Muslim, does it? And as you can see, there's a large group of people here, right, gathered in the street. Now, should the police have cleared them if they're in a street? Yeah, they shouldn't be standing in the middle of the street, but they're painting this as like, they picked this guy with all the tattoos and they're, freaking out. The guy's probably like, "Hey, we're walking here. Hey, I'm walking here." That's what I see. I don't see him harassing a bus driver, but instead they'll say, "This bunch tell us they're not bigots and care about women. Scum of the earth." Again, you can see a bus driver is not giving right of way to people crossing a street. That's what it looks like to me. Again, I was not there. We see this piece in the Guardian. Tommy Robinson cheerleaders are hypocrites, but this strategy is working. Crowd shouting, "Make Britain great again." Identitarian flags featuring lambda symbol waving between Free Tommy t-shirts. It's fair to say that the tourists trying to catch a glimpse of Westminster Abbey this Saturday did not see London at its best, despite remarkable weather. I mean, this is an opinion piece, right? I mean, we see the far right is organized and growing. The way the media portrays the far right or alt-right is that they're this gigantic group of people. They're really not. And we see quotes of guys like Richard Spencer saying he doesn't support free speech. I don't agree with that. He's entitled to believe what he wants, but this is a man that benefits generally from having free speech, although it's strongly opposed often. And I feel like he should have his right to speak, just like anyone who opposes him should have their right to speak in a peaceful manner where they're invited. But you have this long op-ed piece, just Bannon, alt-right, alt-right. And then you see like stuff down here. I like to look at how these shit pieces get summarized. If we want to stop far-right agents, provocateurs such as Robinson, from having a lasting impact on the foundations that underpin a stable and peaceful society. But I thought he wasn't stable. I thought it was chaotic. We need to start tackling the rising levels of distrust. Okay, well, give us a reason to trust you. Fear and anger among those who feel unheard in this country. This is a fair statement. Politicians should address both the sources and the instrumentalization of widespread concerns about cultural diversification against the backdrop of economic decline. This means mitigating socioeconomic inequalities across the country, initiating public debates about British identity, and combating the spread of disinformation And then wait, and far-right influencer campaigns in the online space. What about far left? It is my opinion that far right and far left can be equally damaging. Any extreme point of view is probably not the right one. There might be some situations where it is, but in most cases, I'm going to assume it isn't. Meanwhile, Tommy Robinson still sits in jail as protests and support for him will wane as real life happens and other things come up. To put 5,000 or 10,000 people in the square is good. I saw an interview where they said they had moved up his court date. Maybe that's a good sign. But when you have statements like, we need civil society to stand up to the normalization of othering narratives and dehumanizing language. The left is the one that otherings people. But most importantly, we all need to start putting aside our prejudices and reaching out to those with whom we disagree most. That would be great if people in the UK could actually do that. But we saw when Sargon of Akkad tried to do that, the police kept him away. They said he was harassing people for simply asking why they were there to counter-protest. Now, there was a counter-protest to the Tommy Robinson protest, but there was only a few hundred people there. 20 to 25 times as many people for Tommy Robinson that showed up to protest him. We also saw Trump actually send an ambassador to lobby Britain on behalf of of course, they call them right-wing activists, but I don't look at it that way. I don't like to compartmentalize people in that way. Sam Brownback, the U.S. ambassador for international religious freedom, complained to the British ambassador in Washington, D.C. about the treatment of English right-wing activists for who is in jail for disrupting a trial, according to 3 sources familiar with the discussion. Brownback raised concern of the case of activist known as Tommy Robinson in the June meeting with Sir Kim Darroch, Britain's ambassador to the United States. According to the British official, the 2 sources close to the organization of pro-Robinson demonstration planned for London on Saturday. Robinson, whose real name is whatever, though he uses other aliases, they keep bringing up the EDL and all this stuff because it's a way to pigeonhole him. But he raised the jailing of Robinson during the meeting with Darroch that covered a range of religious freedom issues, the British official confirmed earlier this week. Well, that's good. I think I would like to see bigger support. I would like to see some public support for Tommy Robinson. I think gathering in the streets is good. It's still a powerful way to let the elite know we're here. But Tommy is seen as an everyman, looking out for the best interests of his people. And whether or not you agree with him, you have to respect him, and he should be able to report on crimes. And the guy should be able to hurt people's feelings. He essentially can't do his job, even when he is eventually released from prison, hopefully in good shape and good spirits as quick as possible. But I will continue to cover the Tommy Robinson story to try and keep it on top of mind for people. Internet comments are good, but writing letters to your MEPs and getting out to those demonstrations, if you happen to be in the United Kingdom, is even better. Praying for you, Tommy. Stay safe.